Amakuru.
Nimeza.
Oh, you are okay? Ask me.
Amakuru.
Nimeza.
Done. I know your language now.
Yeah, now you know. So, Carol, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So, have you done any interview before? Have you done anything like posting, YouTube, Instagram? Or?
Nothing. I don't even post myself.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, so you're pretty much the only person, I think, interviewing me about my travels.
Okay. Yeah. Can you introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Carol. I'm from Indiana. I've grown up here. And I just came back last year from a 3-year trip around the world. My career is in IT. I do IT help desk. Yeah, I'm back home, ready to work, and maybe one day head out again. So.
So when you say you're coming home, where are you coming from?
What do you mean? Oh, coming from? I'm coming from seeing the rest of the world. I'm coming from a trip that I took starting in 2021. I first went to Europe for 3 months. Then I came back home for the holidays. Then I went to Latin America, Mexico, all the way down to Costa Rica. After that, I went to go work in New Zealand for 7 months. And with the money that I made there, I went to go explore Southeast Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, all those areas, Japan. And lastly, I spent time with my parents in Guatemala.
So you planned the trip for 3 years? Did you plan that and start doing it?
Absolutely not. When I started, I planned for like 3 months. I didn't think I'd be gone for that long. But as I saw that I was able to save money and really budget well, it ended up extending to a year. And when I did the working holiday, I was able to extend it for a second year. And yeah, I turned slowly into almost 3 years.
So where did you start your trip? Where did you start?
I started in Portugal.
Portugal.
Portugal, yeah. I spent a month in Portugal, and then particularly Lisbon. And then I went up the coast. I went to Porto, Coimbra, the Sintra area. Then I went down to Faro, and then I went by land into Spain.
So what made you go to Portugal?
I had heard really good things about it. I had studied abroad before in Paris, I think in 2013. But because I was a student, I didn't have time to go to so many places. I actually went to a real university where I had to, give presentations and write essays. So I only managed to go to a few places. And Portugal has always been on my list. I had heard really good things about the castles, about the coastlines, and of course the wine.
Okay, so how many languages do you speak?
I speak 2 languages, and I can understand a bit of French. So English and Spanish I am fluent. French I know a bit of, and then as I travel I pick up a bit of, a few phrases from the different areas that I am, but I'm definitely not fluent in them.
Okay, so how do you greet people in Spanish?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Or you could say buenas tardes, buenos días, depending what time of day it is. You usually do want to greet somebody, especially if you're walking into a store. Hola, buenos días, hi, good morning. Yeah.
Okay, then that's Spanish. What's the other language?
Of course, English.
Oh yes, English.
And then French I know a bit of. But
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Comment ça va?
Comment ça va? Oui.
Okay.
Yeah.
Comment t'appelles-tu?
Je m'appelle Carol.
Okay.
Oui.
Wow, yeah, that's good. You traveled in a French country, right?
Let's see. French speaking, I think just France.
France.
Yeah, just France. That I've lived there for 6 months when I studied abroad. And I studied French before then. That's why I knew a bit of how to get around.
Okay. So I'm going to teach you one word in my language. We call it KINYARWANDA. You say amakuru.
Amakuru.
Nimeza.
Nimeza.
Amakuru.
Amakuru. Nimeza.
So when I ask you amakuru means how news, like how are you? Then you answer nimeza.
Nimeza.
Okay. So amakuru.
Nimeza. Is it all right?
Yeah.
or more exaggerated. Nimeza.
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 Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I can imitate you a bit.
Amakuru.
Amakuru.
You answer. Amakuru, you say nimeza.
Let me ask you.
Oh, you are? Okay, ask me.
Amakuru.
Nimeza.
Done. I know your language now. That's good.
Yeah, now you know. Okay, so I always like to ask people about traveling, and I was impressed about you. How many countries have you traveled to?
I think it's 24.
24
24 countries, yeah. So actually, I think some people might be surprised because they would think 3 years that I would go to a lot more countries. But I like to travel slowly, and I like to see a country north to south if possible. You know, I don't just want to go to Paris and be like, I've seen France. No, that you have not seen everything. You know, you're missing the coast. You're missing the the smaller cities, the countryside, the mountains. So I like to see many different cities in one country. So I think that's why in 3 years, maybe 24 is not so much. But I think I know each country that I've been to. Most of them I know pretty well.
Okay,
Yeah.
24 countries.
I think so. I can double check for you if you want.
Okay, yeah.
I wrote it down. Oh, it's 23.
23. Oh, can you tell me the names?
Sure. So I've been to Guatemala, where my parents are from. I'm also a citizen. Honduras, France, Monaco, Spain, Italy, the Vatican, Belgium, Germany, Austria, Czechia, Belize, Portugal, Mexico, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, New Zealand, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Japan.
So, how did you do that? Where the idea came from?
Where the idea?
Yes.
I think it's an idea I had since I was a child. When we bought our house here in Indiana, the owners left a bunch of Natural Geographic magazines. I don't know if you still remember those, but everyone used to have them, and they had like a stack of them. And so when I was a child, I would just, look through them, and I read about the mummies. I'd read about Egypt and Gaza, and then I'd read about like the Roman Empire, and everything that they've done, or like things that have been discovered in archaeology. So I think looking through those magazines really made me curious about the world and curious about history. Just everything, culture. So I think since I was a child, I've always wanted to see more. And I think my mom is kind of an influence as well, since we would travel back and forth to Guatemala, and I've lived there a few years. Travel didn't really seem so outlandish. I think she got used to us. She got us used to leaving what we think is home, and and exploring.
So how did you start traveling after going back home from
for that?
Yes.
So outside of family trips? Or?
Yes.
Okay. Outside of family trips, I think my first trip without my family was in high school. And it was when I was 16 years old, but I went on a school trip. And it was with my French teacher and a few other students. And it was like 8 days long. But I enjoyed parts of it, but I didn't enjoy parts of it because I felt like I couldn't do what I wanted to do. Even when I was 16 years old, I was like, I don't like this. The other, that there's a schedule and I have to follow it. And I can't just, stay one more day in this area because I like it. And so that was, I think, my first trip without my family. And I was in my head thinking, I can do this better. And I would say my second trip without my family would be in college. I did an internship in Guatemala as well. And that was 3 months by myself in a different city. And that was working for an NGO. And that really, I think, built my confidence that I could travel just by myself. After that, I think, is when I studied abroad in France. And that was, I think, a bit more than 6 months that I was there by myself. And I had to obviously do everything by myself, find a place to live, find a place to figure out like the banking situation, roommate situation, everything. So I think everything, those 6 months, like I really gained a lot of confidence as well. And then I started to work, you know, and I was thinking, you know, I want to do a long trip, at least 3 months, 3 to 6 months, see if I can do it by myself. And so, yeah, I started to save up money for that.
So which country did you stay a long time in?
The longest time? I think it would be New Zealand, because I was working there in New Zealand. And because I had the visa that would allow me to stay for a whole year. Whereas most countries, when you go in on a tourist visa, if you have an American passport, maybe you get 3 months, maybe you get 6 months, maybe you get 1 month. It just depends. So because New Zealand allowed me to stay for a year, that's why I stayed in New Zealand the longest.
So you travel to one country, you go to another one, you go to another one, you still want to go to more countries within those 3 years?
I think, after, you know, after I've seen so much?
During, because you did so many countries.
Yeah.
How did the curiosity keep going on, keep going to another country?
Because it was really fun. It was fun to meet new people. It was fun to see new places, learn new things, to challenge myself. And I think I'm someone who is very flexible, and that flexibility has allowed me to think, okay, I like this, why not do this next? You know, and the only thing that really held me back was, you know, money. So then I would have to find ways to get from one place to another kind of cheaply. But other than that, it was just, you know, something inside me. It was like, okay, after Europe, I went to see Mexico. I've never been. It's right beside the US. You know, I don't know anything about it, you know, other than Mexicans that I've known around here. But I don't know any of the cities or anything like that. So it was just, I think, yeah, also like the list of places that I wanted to go. And if the money allowed it, then I was like, let's go.
Then how did you go to those Thailand countries? And that's far away from here, right?
From here, yeah. So so after Latin America, that's when I left to New Zealand, and that was a long flight. So being on that side of the world, I didn't see it as that far away. Technically it is, because when you look on a map, New Zealand is very, very south, and you still have to go a lot north to get to Thailand. But being on the same side of the world, it's kind of like not a big deal. Once you cross an ocean, I don't think it's that big of a deal to go across another ocean or to take a long flight. It's just like, if you tell me you're going to be on a plane for 17 hours, I can find something to do. It's really not that big of a deal to me.
So which country did you like the most? That's an obvious question. But...
there's like 3 different countries I like the best, but I think the one I like the most, probably Thailand. I think the way of life that they have.
People tell me to visit Thailand. It might be a nice country.
Yeah. Thailand it has really nice, I would say, really nice natural beauty. Like, the beaches are beautiful, the islands are gorgeous, but I think it's also the people. The people are very easygoing. I mean, they're not just, you know, like simply happy all the time. They are complex as well, but they seem to be very relaxed and very easygoing towards tourists especially. So I think people really like Thailand because of the people. The food is incredible. I think the energy of Bangkok is amazing. And I think in Asia in particular, a lot of the cities are still growing. Whereas, you know, like if you go to Chicago, the city's done growing. You know, New York is done growing. You know, they're established, but in Asia, there's an energy that things are being really developed really fast. And I think the energy of Bangkok is something that really inspires me. And I think people also like it for that reason. Some people hate Bangkok because of, you know, it's just, you know, too much noise, too much everything. But for me, I really enjoy that type of movement. So I enjoy both the cities and I enjoy the natural beauty of Thailand.
Okay, I never drink.
Oh, thank you. And people have told you to go to Thailand?
Yeah, so many people told me to go to Thailand. Might be a nice country.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I spent maybe like a total of 3 months. 3 months in Thailand. I could have spent a year. I could have spent like 5 years in Thailand and not feel the time. There's especially like an island where it's known for scuba diving. And I've met some people and they're like, oh yeah, I arrived in like 2020, you know, and they've been there for like 3 years, you know, or 4 years, because they love it. You lose track of time. It's very easy.
So what's the country you like least? The country that gave you hard time.
New Zealand. It was
Then that's where you spend most longer time, right?
Yeah, I spent a long time there. And I mean, I had to work, you know. But I think I arrived at New Zealand at the wrong time. I arrived as everybody knows. I think New Zealand closed for like 2 years during COVID, so no one was allowed in or outside. And when I got there, they had just opened up the country to travel. And so I found the people very insular. Like they didn't really want to make friends. I found them to be a bit cold. And I think like a bit surface level nice. So I think part of the reason why I didn't like New Zealand was because of that experience.
That's like Richard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's surface level niceness. And coming from Latin America before that, you know, people are warm. People are like, who are you? You know, how are you? They want to get to know you. And I had heard good things about New Zealanders, but that wasn't the experience that I had in particular.
Okay.
That's his country.
So
Surface level nice.
What is he says this country is?
No, I said his country.
His country service level nice? Oh, really? Rwanda, people are very...
what is it?
Surface level nice.
Or the...
Like they say, hi, how are you? But really they judge you.
Oh, that's what you meant?
No,
Surface level nice is like, they know their manners, but they're not like overly like, let me help you.
Yeah.
They don't go out of their way to like make sure that there's more for you.
For example, Kenzie, I barely know her, you know, but she's like, I'm having a barbecue at my house. Come over. I was like, okay, I will. You know, because she invited me. I was like, oh, you know, she invited me to somewhere. I will be, you know, a good person and go as well because I want to be her friend. In New Zealand, it would be like, oh, let's get a coffee. Never, you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, like like it's kind of like they'll say, you know, like, oh yeah, let's do this, let's do that, you know, and it doesn't really happen.
Yeah, they don't
So
reach out.
they don't reach out. They're
Doing
okay.
it to be polite.
they're not like, come to my house, you know, I'll make you dinner, you know, let's hang out, let's do this. Not really. They don't really. I found that they did not care to make friends with me.
Okay. So what is one belief you had before traveling that changed after?
I think I thought the world was really, really, really big, but I think it's smaller than I realized. Especially, I've run into several people in different sides of the world, and like without making a plan. Like I just, for example, my friend, I have a German friend. I met her in Mexico randomly on a bus, you know, and we were heading to the same city. And while we were there, we hung out. But after that, I never saw her again until I saw her 2 years later in Thailand, randomly at the same hostel that I was at. So you know, and then we did hang out, and we hung out in Laos, and then Vietnam is the last country that I saw her actually. But it is kind of like people are connected. Like you do, how do I explain this? I think, yeah, before I was intimidated that there were, you know, 7 billion people in the world, you know, that the world is so big. But I think that the more you know, the less intimidating it becomes, because you do kind of see how things are connected, and the world becomes smaller, I think.
And what about you? When you travel, what do you discover about yourself that you didn't know?
I think I'm braver than I thought I was. I am more resourceful than I thought I was. Yeah, I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. I learned that I can depend on myself. And I think that's something I didn't really think about when I was younger as well. You know, I would depend on others. And I learned that it's a good and a bad thing, but I think I only need me. Like wherever I am, I can be happy because I can build a good life for myself. And that's something I think when I was young, I didn't realize. I was like, oh, I hate being in Indiana, you know, so boring, you know, like, I want to get out of here, you know. But it's actually my mindset that I wasn't building a good life for myself when I was young. And now that I've come back, I've realized I can build a good life for myself here. I can make friends again. I can get a good job. I can, you know, find hobbies, go to events that are interesting to me. I can stay busy. And it was just me who was holding myself back. So I think that's something that I've really learned about myself.
What if you turn that into like an advice to people after traveling? Turn that into an advice to people who...
To people?
Yeah.
I would say the advice is you need to leave your home, because this is the only way you can get that sort of mindset. You won't know what your home is like until you see it from the outside. It's only when you can remove yourself from it and place yourself in a place that's not your home that you can see who you are, you know, what you like, what you don't like. You can get a more objective view about life and places and cultures. So definitely I would recommend to people, whatever you can afford, however far you can go, place yourself in a place that you feel uncomfortable. And you're gonna learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah, that's really good to know, because by traveling you come back with an open-minded.
Yeah.
So do you think America is expensive after going to Thailand and come back?
Well, expensive is relative. That's something else I learned too, because I know people here complain about, you know, inflation and inflation and inflation, but people still have high salaries here, you know, and a lot of places there's inflation and inflation and inflation, but low salaries, very low salaries, you know, and they really have to figure out, you know, how they're going to make it work. And for me, that wasn't really an issue because the dollar was strong the majority of the time that I was abroad. And I was really lucky in that I have, you know, a strong currency to back my travels, you know. So I think, yes, the US is expensive to me now that I've come back and I'm using my own currency in my country. But yeah, when you consider cost, you have to think of the places that you're going. For example, if I fly to Switzerland tomorrow, Switzerland's expensive. I will be broken, like, you know, like 1 week and I will be out like thousands of dollars. So it's just you do need to consider what currency you have and how you can make it work.
So, what are those small things you see but you like get excited or just didn't know about it? Like people travel to France, they find houses are too tiny, cars are too tiny. When you come to America, you say, oh, everything is
Huge.
big, huge.
Yeah.
What are those things that surprised you probably by traveling so many countries? What, like, you still remember or something like, oh, when you go to this country, it's like this, but people probably don't talk about it a lot.
Let's see. Well, the first thing that comes to my head is we are living in the dark ages when it comes to our toilets. The Japanese are geniuses, and everyone should follow their example. So they have, do you know about Japanese toilets?
No, what is it?
They have, they're basically like a little computerized toilet. So basically you can get it warmed, you know, you can get, you have different options for getting clean. You don't ever need to use toilet paper if you don't want to. You know, it's kind of like a built-in bidet with a whole bunch of different options. It plays music for when you need some privacy. It's very, at first I was a bit weirded out by it, but then I was like, why is the rest of the world living in the dark ages when it comes to this? Something else as well that I think I've realized is, I don't know if you've seen the trains around here. Obviously, like they're very slow and old. And if you were to go to, obviously Japan, you know, they have it figured out. But a lot of countries
Sorry, say it again. You said it's still old. What is it?
Transportation. Like it's just not efficient. It's old, not efficient. The infrastructure is not great in the U.S. And you've kind of realized that the U.S. has mismanaged tax money by not investing in infrastructure, because there are, you know, I haven't been to China yet, but from what my friends say, it's incredible what they've done. You know, they have world-class infrastructure now in a lot of the cities. And so I think you really do realize that the U.S. is no longer the superpower. The superpower is China. And the next area of development is Asia. They are the ones who are rising up. And you can see it in the cities, you can see it in the transportation, you can see it in the money that they're putting into everything. That, yeah, the wealth is going to that area. And it's a bit sad to see, you know, that the U.S. is the old superpower. They're no longer, they have not invested in the past, you know, how many ever years in infrastructure or anything of importance to maintain that status. So I think that became really clear to me when I left the country and I got to Asia. I was like, wow, there's a lot of energy here.
So after traveling 24 countries, what would you be your, I think I asked you that. Let me revise this question and see.
Which one?
This, let me see, this one. Yes, what matters after traveling 23 countries, what matters now and what no longer does? Like,
I would say I care less about money. And what matters most is my time. Because I think when you have time for yourself, like I did, that I had time to just live my life without having to worry about work or any responsibilities or anything like that, you realize that you can live really well if you have time for yourself. And
Are you listening?
yeah, and I think you realize that, like, I'm no longer willing to sell my time, you know, for $13 an hour or whatever the minimum wage is. You know, it's ridiculous here. It's my time and my life is more valuable. That's the only thing. Like they say, it's cliche, but you can't get it back. You can't get it back. I'm already, you know, I'm already 33. And when I first left, I think I was 29 because I celebrated my 30th birthday in Portugal. And I look back, you know, at who I was at 29 and who I am now. And I only am who I am now because I took the time to get to know myself and took the time for myself to accomplish a goal, a lifelong dream. And I think a lot of people, because maybe financial circumstances or responsibilities, they don't take that time. And it makes me a bit sad because I think that's the only thing that you can't get back, and that's the most valuable thing. One of the most valuable things, that family, those are important. Money comes and goes. Right now I don't have it, but I will. You know, when I started, I had it, and I didn't, then I didn't, and then I earned it again, and then I didn't. It just comes and goes. It's really not that important. And it's easy for me to say that because I come from a rich country, you know, but I've been broke. You know, I've been broke abroad. I lived in Guatemala for several years. I kind of know what it is to be without money.
You've been broke?
Broke.
What do you mean?
No money. No money. Broke without money.
Why?
Because I've spent it all. Because I've spent it all, you know, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all because those years of my life are priceless to me. I learned so much about the world and about myself, and there's no regret. Like I said, right now I don't have money, but it will in the future.
So what should I do?
What should you do? You should value your family and your time because you're only this age that you are right now. Basically this moment right now that I'm speaking to you, it's gonna be gone. You're gonna turn off the camera and this moment will have passed. But it's, right now you're in the present and you're listening to me. You know, it's, be present. Be present, use your time wisely. And that includes using it for things that matter to you and not what you think should matter so much. And I know some people use most of the time in pursuit of money, but the money, what will you do with it, you know? When you're on your deathbed, what will you do with that money? You just have accumulated so much. And there's people I met also abroad who are in their 60s and they're like, well, I just retired. Oh no, I can't really hike that mountain because I'm old now, you know, I'm tired. And they just spent their whole lives working. So my advice to you is, yeah, you need to consider what's important to you and what's a good use of your time. And in my opinion, money is important, but not as important as everything else.